Hello and welcome back to the New Dig Norfolk Gardener channel, where we garden here in Norfolk on our New Dig beds. Today it's getting towards the end of October and I want to sow our broad beans. Now you can sow broad beans normally from like February onwards and put them in the springtime to let them grow up. You'll just get them later. But by sowing them in the autumn, you can get an earlier crop sometime in May, when there's very little else for you to eat out of the ground and you have some fresh veg, something that people call the hungry gap. Now, broad beans are not fully frost hardy, they will stand a little frost, and we've been quite lucky over the last few years that we've been able to plant out our plants sometime in November. And they've been okay, but I have known from other people where their plants have suffered from a really bad frost. What we do is cloche them when the bad weather really does come, to give them that bit of added protection. But I always think it's really worth sowing at this time of year anyway, getting them in the ground before winter comes, just to get that early crop. And at the end of the day, all you've lost is a few seed if they don't make it beyond January and February. So you can see I've filled the pots with compost, and what I'm going to do is to make a hole in there. It wants to be about 2 inches deep. And then one thing we are doing this year is we're going to try 2 different sorts. Now usually we sow a variety called the Sutton, and it's been okay for us. But I've seen this variety called Aqua Dulce. It's meant to be a good broad bean to sow in the autumn and to overwinter. Now the Sutton is quite a low-lying plant, so it's really good for windy areas. We can get quite windy around here, which is one of the reasons why we grow it. But what I do find is that all of the pods are very close together on very small plants. And I quite like the look of the Aqua Dulce that I've seen other people grow. So we're going to give that a go. This is the variety, this is what the seed looks like. As I say, we've made holes in the compost 2 inches deep. And it's just a question of dropping the seed in. Now some people say that you should plant it so that you can see that little slit in the seed. I'll be totally honest with you, I don't always do that, and they germinate fine. So I really don't think you need to be too concerned about that. There we are. That's those. What I'm going to do is to push the compost back over. And what we'll do is give these a good watering, and then I'm going to put them into our greenhouse, which is unheated. You can of course plant these directly into the ground and get your germination. The soil is still quite warm at this time of the year, but for us, we live out here in the country and mice are quite fond of the seed. They will find it and they eat the seed. So to take that out of the equation, we raise them under glass first, and then we'll plant them out as plug plants. So here we are with the other seeds. This is the Sutton. You can see the seeds are slightly smaller than the Aqua Dulce. The Aqua Dulce do make taller plants. So we'll just do exactly the same with these. You know, I remember when we first moved out this way to the village, there was a lovely old gentleman who he used to say to us, "You want to be planting these on the 5th of November." We're not quite going to get these in on the 5th of November, but broad beans are unforgiving. The gentleman is sadly no longer with us, but I'm sure he'll forgive us of maybe not getting them in on the 5th of November. So there, that's the Sutton done. And again, we'll just push the compost back over. As I say, we should give these a watering, and just like that, good old sheep, they'll go into our unheated greenhouse. Germination is usually pretty good with broad beans, and I would hope to be putting these into the ground in the next 4 to 5 weeks. So when they become ready, we'll film that so you can see the distances that we're going to plant these and where they're going to go in our veg garden. So here you join us outside our front door actually. These that you see here, we used to keep things in, coal, logs, all sorts of things. We didn't have any more use for them. What we thought they would do was to make rather good sort of containers to grow things in, and also to help keep them protected. Earlier on in the year we tried growing our potatoes in here, or some potatoes, and yeah, we got a good crop from them. They were absolutely fine. All I've done is to drill some holes in the bottom of these so that excess water can escape. But what we have done here is to plant our Christmas potatoes. They went in the back end of August, grown away nicely. I've grown 2 varieties, a variety called Zere and potato Maris Piper. You can see here that, you know, here's some potatoes. They are forming, so we are going to get some potatoes. And what I'm going to do with these later is to earth them up a little bit more. As and when they need it, we'll give them water, so that they can continue to swell. So the Maris Piper have already flowered, so have the Desiree, although there are still some more trying to come on here. So yeah, I'm quite hopeful that we'll get a nice crop of potatoes ready to eat for Christmas. We'll film that when that happens so you can see exactly what we do get. But I just think that these will protect, you know, these potatoes. They are in a place where they're well sheltered. Of course we will get some frost at some stage. I can cover them, I can try and mitigate that to a certain degree, but it won't freeze so hard around here because we are sheltered on all sides. We've got the house, the boundary fence on that side, and some fencing here, and they're inside these plastic tubs. So that's just an update on our Christmas potatoes, and like I say, we'll come back to those sometime in December when we want to harvest. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this short video on planting your broad bean seeds, and why it's a good idea to plant them this time of the year. Give it a go if you haven't done so already. We've been regularly eating broad beans mid to late May, when the hungry gap is about. Anyway, I'm going to take these up to the greenhouse now and give them a watering. If you haven't done so already, then do consider subscribing to us. Give us a like if you like this video, and any comments you might have, please leave them in the comments bar. I always love getting your comments. We got some nice comments on the last video we did when planting shallots, which is always really, really welcome. But until the next time back here in the garden, we'll see you soon.